The rain fell in a steady rhythm, tapping against the windowpane like a distant, melancholic melody. Hannah sat on the edge of the bed, her fingers tracing the outline of her phone screen. The glow illuminated her face, casting shadows that seemed to mirror the heaviness in her chest. She had read the message 3 times now, each word carving deeper into her heart. "I miss you. Can we talk?" It wasn't from her husband, Daniel. No, Daniel was downstairs, oblivious, humming softly as he prepared dinner. The message was from him, Ethan. The man who had become her secret, her guilt, her escape. The man who had made her feel alive in ways she hadn't realized she was missing until it was too late. Hannah's mind drifted back to the first time she had met Ethan. It was at a work conference, one of those events where the days were long and the nights were filled with too much wine and laughter. He was charming, confident, and so different from Daniel. Where Daniel was steady and predictable, Ethan was unpredictable, exciting. He made her feel seen in a way she hadn't felt in years. It started innocently enough, a shared joke, a lingering glance, a touch that lasted a second too long. But then it became more. Late-night texts turned into secret meetings, stolen moments in dimly lit bars, and whispered promises that neither of them could keep. Hannah told herself it was just a phase, that she would end it before it went too far. But the truth was, she didn't want to. She was addicted to the thrill, the danger, the way Ethan made her feel like she was the most important person in the world. But now, sitting here in the quiet of her bedroom, the weight of her betrayal pressed down on her like a stone. She thought of Daniel, kind, loyal, trusting Daniel. He had no idea. He still looked at her with the same adoration he had on their wedding day, still believed in the vows they had made to each other. And yet, she had broken them, shattered them into 1,000 pieces. The sound of Daniel's voice pulled her from her thoughts. "Hannah. Dinner's ready." She quickly wiped the tears from her eyes and forced a smile. "Coming," she called, her voice trembling slightly. As she made her way downstairs, the guilt gnawed at her insides. She sat at the table, picking at her food, her mind racing. Daniel chatted about his day, oblivious to the storm raging inside her. She nodded along, but her thoughts were elsewhere, on Ethan, on the lies she had told, on the life she was risking. Later that night, as Daniel slept soundly beside her, Hannah lay awake, staring at the ceiling. She thought about the future, about the choices she had made and the ones she still had to make. She knew she couldn't keep living like this, torn between 2 worlds, 2 men, 2 versions of herself. But the thought of ending things with Ethan filled her with a sense of loss she wasn't ready to face. And the thought of confessing to Daniel filled her with dread. In the darkness, she reached for her phone and typed out a reply to Ethan's message. "I can't do this anymore." But before she could hit send, she hesitated. Her finger hovered over the screen, her heart pounding in her chest. The weight of her betrayal was suffocating, but the thought of letting go was even more terrifying. In the end, she deleted the message and turned off her phone. The rain continued to fall outside, a steady, unrelenting reminder of the storm within her. Hannah closed her eyes, but sleep didn't come. She was trapped in a web of her own making, and she didn't know how to break free. The song of her guilt played on, a haunting melody that she couldn't escape. And as the night stretched on, Hannah wondered if she would ever find the strength to face the consequences of her unfaithfulness, or if she would simply continue to drown in the weight of her betrayal.